It's Monday again, and this is the last show of 2024.
Oh my goodness.
It's just been crazy.
Episode 101.
Episode 101. So we hope that you've enjoyed the last 5 or 6 episodes, I think, where we had guests from the UK.
I enjoyed it.
I did too. I really, all of those people were fantastic and good at what they do. I just wanted to say that, yes, people will get readings today. So if you have a question, I'm writing down all your names in order, as usual.
As usual.
Back to our old format there. And I think the first thing I'd like to do today is have a moment of silence for President Jimmy Carter.
Ah, yes.
He was the president when I really became aware of government. I think I was in the 7th or 8th grade, and I really became aware of how things worked then, I'll be that about 50 years ago now. How crazy is that? But I was really heartbroken when Reagan got in, thinking about how much better life would have been if Carter had been reelected. And, then Reagan was really the beginning of the
dirty tricks,
dirty capitalism stuff. Reaganomics and interest rates and all that kind of thing. But I want us to recognize, Jimmy Carter was a very brave man. He was in the Navy. He was tasked with like a mini Chernobyl kind of thing in 1952. So he was very brave and courageous. That had a very good outcome.
I guess, yeah.
We all know
probably
that
nobody's heard of it.
People thought he was crazy when he invited warring factions to Camp David to get a peace treaty, which worked out really well. And I think that he was one of the very few actual honest politicians.
He always said he would tell the truth.
Yeah, there was no pretense. He just
cost him his presidency.
Yeah.
At the end. Yeah.
And, he was really into music, and he was a fantastic guy. And I really think that he did live his life in service to others.
Oh, okay.
And
living testament to that.
One of my friends said that they met him when they were working for Habitat for Humanity, and that he really was out there in his older dotage with a hammer.
Swinging a hammer,
doing his thing. So he and Rosalind truly devoted their lives to service to others. And yes, it's very sad that he died, but I will point out one other thing that I think is good, and that is that the Biden administration will be doing his funeral and not the next regime. So
yeah. Sad that we have to think like that, isn't it? But
all right, let me just write down a few more names.
Please do. I
mean, Cass,
Jimmy Carter, I think, was testament to the fact that the absolute pinnacle of human development is to give your life in service to others. Not in service of self, but in service to others. And he got that, and I think he got that to the very core of his being. And by all accounts, a very honourable man. So I mean, it's before my time. I only first set foot on these sacred shores December 15th, 1998. So there you go. But I knew of Carter, and Carter had an excellent reputation, And there were always people taking the mick out of him over peanuts and stuff like that.
Yeah, Georgia Peaches and his crazy brother and all that stuff. And Anna's saying, yes, he was an exemplary Christian. Absolutely, he walked his walk. Right? He didn't just talk the talk. He walked his walk. And he genuinely cared about the American people.
He epitomized, if you will, the teachings of Christ as laid down in the Christian mythology, without doubt.
All right, so
those who are remembered live.
Those who are remembered live, Mr. Carter. This flame is lit in your name today.
Indeed.
President Carter.
Good man.
All right, so
So,
Holy Hectorvini.
What's going on? It's a
Well,
bit wild ride,
we
isn't
have,
it? Wild ride.
it is a wild ride. You know, I know I'd been barking a lot about kind of the same old stuff for a while, but it's that's what we're living, you know? So today is a really, really wonderful day. It is the new moon in Capricorn. And each year we get 12 full moons, 13 new moons, or 13 full moons, 12 new moons. So we get...
it's like 12 and a half lunations.
We get that extra lunation, 12 and a half lunations. And when we have 2 full moons in a month, some people call that a blue moon. And it seems that when we have 2 new moons in a month, people are calling that the black moon, but I'm not really into that.
That's not what
I
it's
think
about.
the dark moon before it's new is that dark magic-y kind of stuff. But what I would love to express to you guys is this is your chance to have a little think about 2024. Now,
5.
This
we're talking
year,
about review.
I want you to have a little think about 2024.
God, do I have to?
Yeah.
Do I have to?
And I want you to recognize how, even though there were intensely difficult things, we were like on an acceleration roller coaster, right? It was January. Oh, it was June. Oh, it's December, right? Tons of things happened. Roller coaster things. Many people suffered illnesses and lots of grieving and death and all kinds of hardships. It was intense. And as a nation, there were hardships. Globally, there's been hardships. And then within our own community, this was the first year that we lost a person on Craft of the Wise, that someone passed away. We lost 2. Yeah. 2. Right? So it was the first year we had somebody pass away who was taking the course, and this year we actually had 2 people pass away who was taking the course. So it's been a lot to kind of process and assess. But I'd like you to think back and look at how you handled those things, how you processed those things, how you dealt with those things, right? You went in, you called upon your inner strength, and you said, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out how I can go through what I have to go through and still help other people around me. I can figure out this hardship of whatever it was, whether it was a difficult relationship that had to be ended or navigated, or financial difficulties that had to be reassessed and navigated, or you had to move, or you had to make big changes in your physical life because of new restrictions, or whatever it was. Think about how you handled that and how you felt when you got on the other side of something, your achievement. And Capricorn is that kind of energy. It's that climb every mountain.
Mountain goat?
Yep, it's it's the goat fish. I don't know how he climbs a mountain, but he does. But that's Capricorn.
Half swim.
Capricorn's kind of
fish goat
kind of thing. I maintain, I manage, I get there, I can do it. So think about that energy of the strength that you have, even in the face of disappointment, and how you processed that and rallied and really worked to help other people. And call that energy into your heart center and do some sort of magic today or this evening for the new moon. In honor of that new moon, connect however you normally would, cast your circle or call in deities or through meditation or music or however you would normally do your magic, and build something that you can build going into the new year. What intention are you setting at this new moon for the new year? Right? Whether it's good health, I've got this energy of surviving to this point and I know I've got this. Whether it's relationships and, I want to expand my social life, whatever like that, or I'm focused on getting a new place to live, learning something new, whatever it is you want to bring in, better finances, new career, protection, whatever it is. Tonight is a really, really positive night to set that intention, not just for this lunation cycle, but for this coming year. I see more names, so I'm going to write them down.
There's a whole bunch of people and all sorts of people chiming in with comments as well.
All right.
I see this.
So, Savannah, Doris Jean, Savannah, Logan.
Oh, hi,
Lori.
Laurie. Hello, Laurie. And
Savannah,
Juniper's Tarot and Astrology.
Logan.
Juniper.
Juniper, okay. All right.
Logan, you're handling it. That's the important thing. It's always a process. It's always a process.
Well, you're Yama Ohid, you're still
exactly.
here. All right.
You're still here.
So, what's really interesting, I'm into my tarot scopy things.
Well.
And I like to kind of look at a few different languages, right? So, the last 2 new moons, this new moon, and the next 3 new moons, so that's 6 in a row, are all at 9 degrees in whatever sign they're in, right? So we have Capricorn today, the next month Aquarius, the next month Pisces, and then the last of the 6 is going to be in Aries. So it's very interesting.
There's like a lineup here.
There's a lineup of 6, right? And they're all at 9 degrees. So to get a little more insight about the energy with that, we would look at the tarot and we'd see the 9s. So, are you going to hold that for me?
Oh, I could if you
So
want
the
to.
Hermit is a 9. And then those people who are taking the tarot class, they're down with understanding numerology.
The numerology.
And that the sun, right? Is that right?
The sun is actually one before. No, that's not.
I need the moon.
You want the moon, not the sun.
Like, hey.
Yeah. You want the moon.
I want the moon. I'm like, that's not right.
18, not 19.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well,
sun's nice.
Well, we did have a little bit of a party last night. We were all kind of a bit tired.
A little tired and emotional.
No. Oh, I did this ahead of time, so at least you can hear. Maybe Anton will show you these.
I can
these
show
are
you
the
the
minor
nines.
arcana
I'm gonna
9s.
Pop that behind there. So these are good. We have the
Goodness.
prosperity woman, the Gilded Age.
But she's
so to
waited.
speak.
The snail has finally got her to this completion, because 9s are
Getting close
completions of a cycle.
We have the wish card. The wish card here, the 9 of Cups.
That's always good.
It
Geometrisis.
And we got the 2 more awkward aspects, but in Gwaitha, Palb and Popeth, Rini Yamo here, in spite of everyone and everything, we're still here. The defences are still up. We're a little bruised, but we're still standing. But this is the worry card, the fret and the worry card. Fret, 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 worry, worry, worry. Map a route to where you don't want to be. That's not a good one. Go on then. And the moon,
So
which is...
the hermit and the moon.
I will hold them up together. I'll just put the 9s away. And so we have the... for the numerology, the 18 of the moon here. I'm waving the hermit. Sorry, the 18 in the moon here. This reduces to a 9. And it's interesting when you look at these cards, the energy within them. 9 is an interesting number. 9 is the last in the series of numbers, obviously.
No, I'm just writing down some
She's writing
more
stuff
names
down.
because I want everybody to. All right. So,
Gosh, we got a ton of new people.
so when
Hello,
you're
new
doing
peeps.
your magic, look at these kind of ideas that these are the things that I'm going to change from worries and things that I've processed or I'm trying to process. I'm going to change those into positive plans.
Don't worry now. Be
And
happy.
once I have my positive plans, I'm going to set boundaries to protect those plans. And once I protect those plans, I know I can speak them into being. I can manifest them and bring them where I want them. Right? And I can do this by accepting the energy that lights my soul and lights my way and shows me that I can move forward and protects me from any gossip or ill will or negative energy that's trying to penetrate my boundaries.
Don't you like the way she stitches them together and tells a story? A story.
All right. So that's what I would love people to think about. And I see different people. I know a few people here have Capricorn moon.
I do.
Yeah, you do, and Jess and Lori, and so it means that it's happening wherever your moon is in your chart. So you would look in your chart to see what house the moon is in, and then when you found that, you would know what's being lit or offered, and you could kind of follow that along, and again work with what's being offered. Right? If the new moon is in your first house this month, the house of self, then the new moon is likely to be in your second house the next month, in your house of finance. And it would follow along that the lunation would light up a different section of your chart as we went through the year. And the same with the full moon, right? So the houses we know are kind of in tandem, in opposites. So if the new moon is in the house of self, then it's likely, although you really need to look. This isn't
Absolute.
right. You'd have to look at your chart.
A sweeping generalization.
But it's very likely that if, especially at 9 degrees, we're right in there. But we need to know your house numbers. But anyway, if it's in your house of self, the new moon, then the full moon is probably across the way in the house of partnerships. So you can kind of work your magic in a year's basis, in a month's basis, or however you want to do it, in every 2-week basis, whatever you want to do with your magic. But I definitely think that we would be missing an opportunity, missing a really good opportunity, if we didn't do some magic tonight to set up our coming year. So the last of these 9-degree new moons is going to be in Aries. And it's a completion of a cycle of finishing up that nodal energy, the North Node, South Node, Aries, Libra, war piece is kind of what it's been pushing around here. So I can't...
Well, thank you.
What I'm going to say is the computer is just that far enough away that with my glasses or without my glasses, I cannot read any of the comments.
I can read them.
So
You have it much closer to you when you're doing it, but thank you, Sean, for the donation for Celtica.
Oh, nice.
We appreciate that. He's obviously setting an intention because he says be manifest in 2025.
So mote
it be. We'll buy that. Oh gosh, so where do you want to go from? Said
ninth house. Oh, ninth house is so Jess is saying her Capricorn moon is in the 9th house. So the 9th house is higher learning, awakening to other cultures, and it could be long distance travel, but it could also be astral travel. It doesn't have to be, overseas travel or travel by plane.
Susan, how could we forget about you?
What do you mean? I have her on the list.
She said, "Don't forget about me." Well, we're not going to.
No, I wrote you down before.
We might not have said hello yet because we're
Sorry.
just going. And hello, Lizette. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Helena.
I got Nicole.
Well, I'm just saying hello in case we didn't say hello.
Okay. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with that saying, like, so what's on the horizon? Ever hear that saying?
On the horizon.
What's coming up?
Horus.
What's coming up? What's on the horizon? Has anybody heard that saying? What's on the horizon? What do we think that means?
Well, I
on the
know, but I'm
horizon?
not going to spoil it. I know where it all comes from.
Oh.
Horary and Horus.
Horus, the
Horizon.
sun.
Horoscope. It's all that.
Horoscope,
Because
right.
your ascendant is probably one of the most key factors of your horoscope, isn't it?
The ascendant shows what it's all about, doesn't
What's on the
right?
horizon?
What's
the
on
ascendant.
the horizon, and that's the sign that was on the horizon when you were born is your rising sign, right? It's what you're going to show the world. So your rising sign governs the first house, which is the house of self, and it's how you appear to others.
Yeah, it's what appears at the point of your birth. It's what was appearing, making itself visible. See,
Right? All right. So we've established that.
what?
So now,
All right, steady, steady.
Oh, dear.
I'll shut up at this point. I think I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. or something.
no, that's fine.
Sorry.
So I thought, well, I really don't know what's going to be happening. You've heard the old broken record where I said we had this configuration and it caused the Revolutionary War, or it gave the components for the revolution.
Yes, empirical evidence would suggest we should be perhaps cautious.
And then we had the next big uprising that the United States was involved with was the Civil War. And then the next configuration that happened, when a same configuration happened again, we had World War II. So we kind of know that this configuration is coming intensely April to July. So we kind of understand, even though we don't know exactly what's happening, because some of the other planets are in other positions, but we do know that there's this foretelling, forecasting, saying that a rain is going to fall, right? And I always say that in my astrology class. I say we're having an astrological forecast, and it's kind of like a weather forecast. If the weatherman said it's going to be sleet and hail and 6 inches of rain, you probably want to put on some rain gear, an umbrella, galoshes, whatever, so you can be prepared for that forecast. Well, we know that April to July, a hard rain is going to fall, right? There's some sort of uprising, right? And Pluto stands for that kind of revolution. And it's in Aquarius, so it's saying that there's this revolution of the people, of humanity.
The people are revolting. Oh dear.
My grandfather always used to say, "What's on the horizon?"
See, well, that's how you orientate yourself as well. That's why it's called the Orient, believe it or not, because you look to the horizon, you actually see where the sun rises.
Where the sun rises.
This must be somewhere in the direction of the east.
Orient yourself, right?
Yeah.
But again, when we look at these words, orient yourself, get focused, figure out what's coming and how you can prepare for it. So I thought, well, there's been a lot of scuttlebutt regarding
Scuttlebutt. Is that even a word?
There's been a lot of astrologers, a lot of tarot card readers, mediums, psychics, all these kind of people, politicians, prosecutors, all these people are trying to see what they think is going to happen. And, nobody is 100% psychic, but what I can tell you is something quite intense and probably not what we'd love is on that horizon. Now, you've also heard me talk about Al Ghul, and I'm just going to recap really quickly for the people. Yes, we are. For the people who didn't hear this, Al Ghul is a fixed star, and its name means decapitation, but it's where we get the word ghoulish from, Al Ghul. But again, when we look at words, we just think about them in our modern minuscule meaning,
Yeah, we
right?
learned it by rote mostly, haven't we?
Right, like all that we just said about what's on the horizon, what's coming up, what's in our future, what's, how we're looking, kind of thing. So when we think of the word decapitation, it's not just off with your head, although it could be, but it's off with you're off your head, you've lost your mind.
You may have lost your head, yeah.
You may have lost your leader, the head of the governing body, right? There's a lot of different...
Collectively, we may have lost our way.
Lost our way, right. So let's, contemplate that. So I thought, well, I'm going to run a chart for January 6th
Of course you are.
to see what's up for that electoral college day.
Oh, my.
And then I'm going to run a chart for Martin Luther King Day, January 20th, Inauguration Day. Because there are still some constitutional scholars who are saying that there may be a way that he will be blocked because of the 14th Amendment, saying
Which
that,
should be
that he
self-executing.
cannot be sworn in because he's a convicted felon.
Well, he
But
broke his oath.
what I thought was, broke his oath to the Constitution.
It's like, there may be something to do with that.
Yeah.
Just a small point.
He was impeached for insurrection. So that's, there's a lot of disqualifying factors. Well, when I ran the chart for January 6th, what do you think is on the horizon?
Oh, God, no.
Al Ghul
Oh, God.
and Uranus,
Oh, no.
right? Because Uranus is retrograding and reactivating, believe it or not, reactivating Al Ghul. So we have,
Another blast.
on
of
inauguration, we have Aries...
No, this is the 6th, January 6th.
January 6th, sorry. On January 6th, we have the moon in Aries, and the nodes are still in that Aries-Libra configuration. We have Pluto in Aquarius in the house of public speaking. So tear it down and rebuild it is in the house of public speaking. The sun is in Capricorn in the 9th. And Al Ghul and Uranus are on the ascendant.
All right, I'm going to throw something at you which I don't know if you know, because we've been trying to keep our head away from politics and all that sort of stuff.
I haven't watched the news really since election day.
But it transpires that the new Congress should be sworn in on January 3rd, and their job is to ratify the results of the electoral count, the count of the electoral votes. But it's impossible to do that without a speaker, without a head. And it's very likely at this moment in time that Mike Johnson may get usurped. There's an awful lot of infighting going on.
Well, wasn't it incredible how long it took for them to oust McCarthy, and how many votes was it? 15 or some ridiculous?
No, it went into the 20s, didn't it?
I don't know.
But we may be there because the House without a speaker can't actually do what happens here.
Pluto is in the house of public speaking. Rip it down, right? So
maybe interesting times.
That may affect Speaker of the House, and how we are represented to the world is decapitated and chaosed.
Well, yeah.
Right? Because Uranus, the planet of chaos, is right on the rising, right on the horizon, activating Al Ghul. I said, well, that's pretty interesting. Wonder how that day is going to go down. But again, I'm very good at taking what happened and applying it to the chart. I'm not, even with however many years experience, almost 40 years experience, I'm not the best at absolutely predicting, but I can tell there's something up in that 10th house of public speaking, Speaker of the House. I can tell there's definitely some wacky stuff as how we're going to appear to the rest of the world on that day. Chaos, panic, and disorder, right? Al Ghul.
I think it may be abject chaos. And if people look at us, supposedly the bastion of the free world, and we're just in complete disarray, and we can't, frankly, organise a pee up in a brewery, it starts to have an impact on our world image. It really does.
And Mars has, by January 6th, Mars has retrograded back into Cancer. So we're going to have that mama bear syndrome. And it's in Cancer's, it's in the fourth house.
Fourth house.
Which is the house of
and it's opposing Aquarius.
Right. So then I thought, okay, let's run a chart for inauguration and see if that's any better.
And what are you saying? It's worse?
What I'm saying is, now the sun is at 0 degrees Aquarius. So the sun is combust Pluto. So the sun that says, what's your life about? Shine a little light on me. What's your soul made of? Is now combust Pluto in Aquarius. And they are together in the house of public speaking. So taking an oath on that day might be really interesting. But what's on the horizon? What's coming up? 25 degrees Taurus, the exact degree of Al Ghul. And Uranus at 23, activating Al Ghul in the first house.
It's not combust, but it's
2 degrees.
Enough.
Oh, yeah, it's 2 degrees. That's when you're looking at outer planets, that's pretty much bang
close
on.
enough.
All right. So,
Close enough for government work.
So both of these days, chaos, panic, disorder, can't get our shit together, the rule of misrule, and
expect a shit show.
Oh my word! And by that time,
time,
the moon has moved into Libra, and we still have that axis of
somebody's apologising, but who knows who?
Who
and
knows
what?
who?
And who's apologising for what to whom?
But the nodes have gone into Virgo and Pisces by the 20th. So that's like the completion of a cycle. And then we know things are going to be very accelerated because a lot of the outer planets are moving throughout the year of 2025, are moving out of earth and water into air and fire. Air fuels the fire. So I think January is going to be...
Haven't we got like a complete alignment of all of the planets in January as well?
Yeah, but that's more of an astronomical than an astrological. From our viewpoint, yes, you're going to see them.
It's because they're still, when we're looking at the fixed stars,
it's still a quite an interesting omen. And then I also, would look into, we do the chakra astrology when we become chakra energy clinicians. So you look at the planets as the chakras and the signs that they're emanating. There's just so many different languages we could look at this in. The tarot, the chakras, the planets, the natal chart. It's really going to be something we've never seen before. But I don't know exactly what it's going to be. But I can tell you, we are in for a very, very interesting month.
Set the controls for the heart of the sun. What could possibly go wrong, eh?
So that's why I think it's really extra important that we take this last of the earth signs, right? The cardinal earth that says a change is coming, right? I want to announce a change, Capricorn says. A change is coming. But it's the last of the earth signs. We have this opportunity to put down some roots and, to do some magic for stability to keep us from blowing away with those winds of change. Right? Or a place that we can kind of go deep and hide when the fires come to cleanse things.
Secure your loose objects.
Secure your loose objects, yes.
Oh dear.
So if you would shuffle these up for me.
I'm no good at shuffling.
I'll just mix them around a little bit. I just want to make sure
so big.
I have a few little notes here. See, I did miss something. I wanted to say that Moira Hodgkinson, we did get I think that's how you say her name.
Moira. Yeah.
Moira.
Yeah.
No, I meant the last name. But anyway, she's the
Hodgkinson, yes.
one of the UK authors that didn't have a Monday that she could offer us for the series. So we did get her 2 books in, and one is a really, really good book called Living Witchcraft. So if you want a really good book on Craft of the Wise, we did get that book in. And then she also wrote a book called Katie...
It's a kiddies book, but it's brilliant.
Katie Hunter and the Magic Star. It's kind of like a young reader.
Yeah, young,
So,
rather than kiddie.
It's not like children's as far as teaching under 10s.
No.
This would be more like
Your teens.
a young, 10, 11, 12. They could read it themselves, or it could be something you could share together if you have a young reader.
A young
Anyway, so Katie the Hunter and the Magic Star is in. I think we only got 4 or 5 of those. And we did get Moira's
Living Witchcraft.
Living Witchcraft books. So if you wanted those, they will be at the shop. They're going out on the shelves today.
All right.
All right, so first up is Logan.
Dun dun dun. Who's going first? Who's on first?
Logan is first. Logan, you are in a really big growth period. Do not cheat yourself out of the steps, right?
Yes.
Give yourself that time. If you plant a seed and want to harvest, but every time the little stem comes up, you pick it off, you will never get to the food you want. So you're in a growth period, give yourself time.
Yes. Do not skip steps 6 to 8 in the manual. That's basically what she's saying. It is necessary. I know, this is a thing, and honestly, I can see it in you, and I love it, and I'm dead proud of you. You've got the fire in the head, and that's wonderful. And you are in a place where you are starting to assimilate a tremendous amount of information and starting to process it well. Process it well. But please understand, it's about the journey, not the destination. We're old and crusty now. We've been doing this a while, but there's not a day goes by where we don't learn something new. So if I can ask you to do one thing, it's just take a breath, take a beat, be patient, and don't squeeze the soap in the bath so hard it shoots straight out of your hand. Do you know what I mean? Just allow that process of permeation to take its natural course, and you will be much better for it.
So I see a question. Do I think 2025 is going to go quickly? Immensely quickly.
And next week we'll be having the end of year show for 2025.
I honestly think we have to take advantage of this new moon cycle to get rooted and to get focused.
Set a good intention.
So that we have a center to work from. I would say that I think the months will go by feeling like a week long. Right? That you're going to be planning your life in months.
The weeks are going by like days right now.
And the weeks are going by like days. Yeah, no, I really think that if we look at 2024, it was crazy. It was January, then it was June, now here we are. I think it's going to be even quicker, and I think that's going to be kind of a blessing, because I think it's going to be really, really chaotic, right? Whether something works out unexpectedly for the good, it's still going to be a hell of a shuffle and chaos to get there. Or things could really blow up, and normal life may be completely turned on its head. During the pandemic, we were closed for 4 months, but it didn't seem 4 months long, right? It seemed like a very crazy time where people were fighting over all kinds of things.
There was like temporal distortion during that period, I think. Like some days went by like years. A day lasted a year, and then it was a month.
The next month was gone.
What happened? Yeah. Where did that month go?
So there is that kind of crazy
temporal distortion possibility here.
And there's also health things that could come up again. Not necessarily COVID, but bird flu. There's definitely physical
And
health
unfortunately,
challenges.
we again are going to have an administration so focused on the greater good. It's just, I'm sorry.
Right, because when you see that 10th house lit, you also have to look to the 6th house, right? Because the 10th house is your career, public speaking, and the 6th house is that work, service to others. Anyway, I don't want to go. I take all the time for astrology.
No.
because we're gonna have to
We
bam through these
went
readings.
back. We went back again, didn't we?
But yes, I think 2025 is going to go even quicker than 2024. However, I think it may be even more dramatic.
I think there
Right?
will. It is
Because
interesting times.
Saturn is moving out of Pisces. We've had that drama illuminated to us, and Saturn is moving into Aries. Ready, shoot, aim.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of getting the
Saturn-
wrong kind of exercise.
Saturn is flying off the handle, leaping to conclusions, but Saturn is the teacher. And now, if you don't have your lessons learned, I don't want to be at war with Saturn, let's just say. So
He's a cruel teacher. She's a cruel mistress. I don't know how you
he
describe it.
coronas.
Okay.
All right, anyway. We got to go quickly.
Yes, sorry.
All right. So why don't you do one, then I'll do one, then
Okay.
rather than us both speak, because
Okay,
there's like
because-
15 people and
And
20
we're at-
minutes.
yeah, I know.
So you got a minute apiece. All right.
right.
So you do Sean.
I'll do Sean. It's all right, mate. Take it. This is, for want of a better word, this is God's promise of a happy marriage, but it's everything is literally copacetic here. We have a house on a hill with a river running past, a very strong familial unit, and you got a rainbow, which means it must have been pissing down at some point. You have to remember that. So I think this is about bringing the stuff that you've assimilated over so long into one sort of cohesive thing for you, so that your myriad experiences coalesce to provide a very good foundation, especially within community. So I think that's something that's going to be highlighted for you this coming year.
All right.
How did I do? Was that all right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, people haven't had readings in so long.
I know.
Is that
I know.
Carol
Oh, we got
too?
Carol now. Hello, Carol. How you
Carol,
doing?
you're going to have to go back and watch this one. Gilda,
We're busy.
Build it. I think that you can really take advantage of this new moon energy and set some goals and put some things in place that will really support you to grow forward. And I think that you're going to start to see reward for your efforts, and that allows you to stick with it even more, right? If you get rewarded for your effort, then you think it's worth doing. So I think you're going to have a really positive week. Month.
Okay. Who we got now?
Laura.
Laura. Hello, Laura. Oh, hey. Lots of potential, girl. Lots of potential. But I think you feel, again, sort of stuck. Like you're mulling things over too much and not necessarily putting the spurs to the horse. The ploughed field runs both sides here. It's a huge amount of unrealised potential. And it's necessary to move towards it. I think you've done all the thinking you need to be doing right now. Just get the chuff on with it and move toward it.
All right, Rachel, I'll put you on the end. All right, I have Jess.
Apparently, it's your
Oh, Jess.
Rachel's first ever.
Great.
Okay.
Jess, this is my card that I quote John Lennon, his song "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans." It's also a possible minor surgery. So in light of what was happening to you the last couple of days, I think maybe really taking it seriously and making sure you're okay is important. Again, what this information gives us is information. It doesn't say, oh, yep, Jess, you're going to have chaos and you're going to have a surgery. It says you could avoid this upset, but you need to get the facts and get it sorted out. So again, I think you have the stamina and the energy. Take care of yourself.
Engage the Capricorn
Susan.
moon.
Yes, engage the Capricorn moon.
I'm just going to move them the other way and you can spread them out a bit more because we're all getting mixed up. Oop, 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 oop. Sorry. Susan. Lot of keeping you on your toes. A lot of keeping you on the toes. A lot of things you've got to deal with, but deal with them and you'll do okay. You are literally towering above your problems, so you're not succumbing to them, and that's the important thing. If you stay on top of the situation, if you deal with what you need to deal with when you need to deal with it, do not procrastinate. You procrastinate, things are going to get out of control very quickly. Get on top of it, knock it down, and you'll do well because there's an improvement in status as a result of it. So just keep the faith and keep it going.
All right.
Dig deep if necessary.
Anna's down here. Anna. All right. You may be having a little bit of trouble keeping everything together, right?
Oh,
you see, this guy's got a throne. He's earned his faith. He's earned his position.
He's a little bit at sea with it.
But he's a little bit out there in the rocky sea, feeling a little bit seasick by being pushed around by everything. So I know you're a Cancerian, and this is the Cancerian card. So this is about taking a deep breath and finding a dock, right? Finding a port, finding a place that really gives stability. So maybe this is about scheduling, or maybe this is about something else, but it's important to get some sort of routine that makes you feel more anchored, right? Sometimes it's really hard to get in a new routine, but you can do it.
Yes, you can.
Cass.
For me, hey, not too bad at all, Cass. This I see this is very much a card of beginnings, and particularly beginnings of a very fertile thing. But there is a transformation necessary. The wheat has to be transformed into flour to make the bread. It's no longer wheat at that point. So then you may be going through some kind of shift at the moment, but it's very much for the positive, and that transformation brings fertility, fecundity, and all good stuff to come. Yeah.
All right, I have Doris Jean. She's over here.
Hello, Doris Jean.
Same as Susan.
Get on top of it.
I always quote that game Whack-A-Mole, like you got the hammer and you have to keep everything at bay. So I think there is potential for chaos, but I also think there's potential for handling the chaos, right? Dressed in green, so they've got their shit together. He's got his shit together. He's got his green on, his fertility, his fecundity, his fortune, right? So I think that it's important to stay alert and have the reflexes that you need to keep everything going.
Be alert. Your country needs alerts.
Your country needs alerts?
Yes.
Savannah.
This one for Savannah.
Ooh,
hey.
Victory.
I'm thinking, even though they might have kicked the can down the road a little bit, somebody's going to realise that maybe not that wise. Maybe you'd accept this. And I would strongly suggest that you really mull it over, because you will come out victorious on this, especially if you keep to your guns. And I think you've got the buggers on the back foot right now. And maintain that position. And that's why I say, even if it seems like, ooh, that's kind of good, you could do better. So if you get an offer right now for the thing I think
mull it over, because it's victory.
But this is victorious here. So keep your eye on the prize, girl.
All right. Juniper's Tarot.
Juniper.
Ooh.
Hello.
Somebody may have think they won, but they won by deceit. And the truth is coming out.
That's a bugger when that happens,
so
isn't it?
If somebody has the upper hand right now, they may have it without a firm foundation. And I think you have the ability to dethrone them, or at least get your weapons back. So somebody may think they've won, and there's a bit of a struggle, but they have won by deceit. So it will not last. You're going to come back to a positive with that situation. Peggy. Oh gosh, okay.
There, everybody. You are Peggy. You're on time somewhere. It's all good.
You have Nicole.
Nicole. All right. Oh, your cup runneth over, Nicole.
Ooh,
This card is actually, joking apart. Let the stress go. All right.
It's an exhale card.
You've got to learn to breathe, and I mean that, joking apart. I don't know if you have like an Apple Watch or if you've got any kind of smartwatch, but there's one of the little things that it comes up on here is like a mindfulness thing where you just take a moment, and it's literally 1 minute to actually focus on your breathing. And I think if you could do that, if you could really just focus on just your breath in and out, just for 1 minute, exhale completely. I think there's a desperate need for calm within. I know you do the swan the whole time. You look serene on the surface, but I think underneath it's like, woosah. I think it's good for your health, all right?
All right. I have Helena Rose.
Yes, do mash that like button, peeps.
This is one of the few cards that has the color brown on it. And brown is about possessions, like material things. So I think that this is like reorganizing and reevaluating things and how you want things and where you want things and how much of things do you need or want. Or maybe you need to acquire some new things. But I think this is sort of some side... like internal decision-making thing going on where I love this and I'm going to keep it. I don't like this. I'm going to get rid of it. I need a few more of these. Changes in things that make things more comfortable. I don't know how to express that other than that. All right.
Here we go.
You have Carol.
Carol. Where are we? Let's have this one for Carol. Oh, hello. Not a bad card. Ostensibly, this looks really good, got the whole world in your hands, etc., etc. It's better to travel. But I think there's also some, I don't know, is it a little thing that's been nagging you that I think you've yet to fully resolve, like a bit of an emotional issue somewhere back there. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't have to. You don't have to necessarily drag it forward into the future. Maybe write a letter. Joking apart, it doesn't matter. It's. I feel that this little bit of a catharsis you need to have to let it go. Because you've been carrying it. You've been carrying it beautifully and well hidden for a very, very long time. But just privately, let it go.
All right, I have Rachel. Savannah's sister, Rachel. We met her.
Oh, yeah. Hello. I remember you now.
This card's like a 4-letter word, but it's the patience.
No.
I think you are really focusing on something. And I think this new moon opportunity is speaking to you. And understand that magic doesn't always manifest within one day. And it doesn't always manifest in the 2 weeks of the cycle from new to full. Sometimes if it's a bigger project, it takes a little longer to come to fruition. And you may want to make yourself some sort of mantra that you can continue to use to build whatever it is you're working on, right? Just, I deserve whatever it is. And do that every morning while you're growing this project that you're starting. And I think that will help.
I just want to interject and say, I apologise because I can tell by the viewer count of plummets, they're showing you adverts. So hopefully it comes back to.
Well, you can always go back and rewatch, I suppose.
We don't have any control over that.
All
I'm
right.
so
Last
sorry.
but not least, Peggy.
Peggy. Let's have a look then. Hopefully you're still watching as Peggy and not an advert. So, this is the Minor Arcana Justice card. Where I come from, 6 easily divides by 2, but this person's getting 4, and this person may not be getting anything. So I think at the moment, people are perhaps reaching out to you with a sense of expectation, saying, gimme, 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 or mum, move my feet, they're too close to the fire, they're burning. Yeah, obviously you want to help, but understand sometimes your help may actually be enabling somebody to continue with a problem. And part of your role of making best possible use of all available resources is to gently direct them where they can best help themselves, if you know what I mean. Because what do you teach a man to fish? That kind of thing. When you sit in a boat and drink beer all day. No, I joke. But yeah, seriously, I think somebody may be asking you for help that they're quite capable of helping themselves, like this person with the winning lottery ticket in their pocket. See what I'm saying? If only, eh? But there you go.
Somebody in California. All right.
There you go.
So now we've got our card of the week.
Yes, we do. Look at this. Where's the hour gone? Boom, like that. See, told you time is picking up.
Card of the week.
Dun, dun, dun.
We may have accomplished several things, but there may still be something hanging out that we want to achieve. So what's a good way to do this? Become a tree. Put down some roots. Put out some branches. Right? Take in the sunlight. Take in the rain. And figure out how you want to grow to get that last cup.
Bless you.
Phew.
Blessings
Sorry.
upon your personage.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think sometimes we struggle against things. You look at this individual's body language and no, leave me alone. I'm all right. And sometimes the thing that we really resist, we dig our heels in and go, I'm not going there, is the actual thing we need. So don't be so quick to close something off just because it doesn't fit with what you want, because it might be exactly what you need. All right. So there you have it.
So people, please take advantage of tonight.
Capricorn.
If you can't do a full-blown ritual with magic, you can set some sort of intention and do some kind of magic, whether it's water magic, crystal magic, candle magic, whatever you're going to do. Also, if you're really a solitary and you want to connect to some other energy, we have put out a ritual for a prosperity ritual.
Oh, yeah.
And we've put out a healing ritual. So you could hook up with one of those. If those are topics that you wanted to do, you could go watch it. But set your space to the intention of the Capricorn new moon and not whatever that time was when we recorded. I think we did Capricorn or Cancer full moon for the healing one. Sorry. But it can be something small. You can just set an intention with a mantra. Or it could be something big where you cast the circle and you use circle in a box and you use that 9 minutes of magic and meditation to so mote it be something into your life. Be prepared that this year is going to be like coming out of a slingshot, right? So January is going to be crazy. Then I think that February and March are a bit of like juggling and sorting. And then I think April through August is just going to be like 1 month long of crazy. And I
wish it'd be the summer of love.
I wish it could be the summer of love too.
Yeah.
But I think it's important what we all focus on, right?
That is true.
So when we see what's on the horizon and it's chaos, panic, and disorder, more important to put down roots, more important to take care of self, more important to take care of community. We may very well be reduced to community. There may be no internet. There may be no cell phones. There may be no credit cards, right? Put a little cash on hand.
It's a little bit apocalyptic.
A
then.
little bit. Well, because
a little bit apocalyptic.
Aquarius is involved. Aquarius and Uranus. And Uranus rules Aquarius. And it also rules like weather events. So I think, again, we're going to have some wacky weather. Speaking
Weather
of
the
which, it's
storm,
almost
eh?
60 degrees going into January, right? So I think we're going to have some wacky weather. And we don't know how we're going to keep track of the weather because come January 20th, they're going to do away with
Noah.
Who
needs them?
We actually know a person who has told us that's real and true. She will be out of a job. They are going to dissolve Noah, which means there'll be no advanced warning. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Of course it doesn't exist. We put our head in the sand. Hide under a rock. Don't hide under a rock. No. Sometimes out in the open is the best place during an earthquake.
Aquarius also rules things like computers, the internet,
communication,
AI,
travel. Air travel, especially.
Air travel, and Uranus and this weather thing. There's just going to be more weather events that could dismantle communication systems, more weather events that might ground aircraft, more weather events that might take out roads or infrastructure.
I know we're over in time, but tell me if this is the case. Again, the sun is achieving its solar maximum at the moment, and there's going to be a continuing period, which is probably going to peak
solar flares
of coronal mass ejections, which cause solar flares, which cause quite
disrupt
disruption
the
in the ionosphere.
Yep.
Hence all the northern lights. And back in May of this year, if you remember, when I was getting beautiful pictures of the northern lights on the porch, people's tractors were going stupid things. The whole GPS positioning system got screwed up completely.
We have that potential with, the people who are leading the satellite companies. It's going to be very, very interesting.
I love the
Ground
word
yourself,
interesting.
Get sorted out, be part of your community, prepare.
Keep a weather eye.
And, just put out love.
Yeah, what you focus on comes into focus.
Love, peace, joy, man. Love, peace, joy. Power to the people.
True, and I think it will be power to the people. I think there's going to be a redistribution of that.
Well, there's going to be some
but
sort of
there's
uprising.
no change without struggle. That is always the case.
Well, we see bits and pieces of things that are interesting, right? Like, had anybody ever actually murdered a CEO before? And,
I know.
how many people
CEOs
did that?
of health insurance companies have murdered
How
plenty
many
of people.
did that person murder, right? Eye for an eye. There's just some crazy stuff, things that we have not seen before. We have no real basis for looking back to see how it was handled because we don't have that, right? We've never tried to swear in a criminal before who has broken their oath to the Constitution. We have, these are things we have never had before. We have never seen
Pointless him
before.
taking an oath. He doesn't intend to keep it. So, anyway,
Alrighty.
moving on.
So forewarned is forearmed. The forecast has been given. Get out your galoshes, your rain boots, your rain gear, your umbrellas, your shields.
Keep your nose clean and your powder dry.
And get on with it. All right. Have
and look
a
out for your
fantastic
neighbours.
week.
Make sure there's smoke in their chimney.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
make sure there's smoke in your neighbor's chimney. And don't forget that Moira's books are in, and she just couldn't be with us for a Monday. But they're really great. And if you want one of those, let us know. All right. Peace and love, people.
Love you all. Thank
Have
you
a
for
great
watching.
week.
Mash that
See you
like
next
button.
Monday.
Bye for now.
What's the last? Let me just see these last. This year goes by.